Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully. You don't need another motivational video. You don't need another excuse. What you need is truth, and the truth is simple. Quitters never win. Everyone says they want success. They want money. They want freedom. They want to be respected. But when it gets hard, when it gets painful, they tap out. That's not ambition. That's weakness pretending to be effort. You think motivation is what's going to save you. You think watching one more video, listening to another podcast, or scrolling through some Instagram quote is going to give you the fuel to win. That's your first mistake. Motivation is for the weak. Discipline is for the elite. Motivation is a feeling. It's a chemical hit. It comes and goes like a breeze. You might feel pumped at 2 a.m. after watching a highlight reel, but where's that energy when your alarm rings at 5 a.m. and your bed feels warm and life feels hard? Gone. That's what happens when you rely on motivation. It betrays you when you need it the most. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait for the stars to align. It doesn't care about your mood, your environment, your past, or your comfort. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when every fiber of your body screams to quit. That's power. That's what separates men from boys, winners from losers, kings from peasants. You see, motivation is external. It's what the world feeds you, but discipline is internal. It's forged in darkness. It's built through suffering. It's trained when no one is watching, and you don't develop it by feeling good. You build it by conquering yourself daily. Look at the top 1% of achievers in any field: sports, business, combat, war, anything. They don't rely on feeling ready. They don't wake up asking themselves if they're in the mood. They act because it's a standard, not a suggestion. They do it because it's who they are. Let me be blunt. Motivation is a beginner's tool. It's for amateurs. It's the first step. But if you stay stuck there, you will never break out of average. You'll be just like the masses, starting things with energy, then quitting the second it gets boring, uncomfortable, or repetitive. The gym is a perfect example. Day one, you're excited, you bought new gear, your playlist is set. You're watching Tate clips in the parking lot before walking in like a warrior. But 2 weeks in, you're tired, you're sore, you're bored, and guess what? You skip a day, then two, then you disappear. Why? Because you were never committed. You were just motivated, and that dies fast. Discipline is the opposite. It's brutal. It's non-negotiable. You don't care how sore you are. You don't care how long it takes. You don't care what's happening in your life. You show up. You put in the work. You hit the reps. You build the body, the mind, the results. Not by emotion, but by decision. People ask me, how do I stay motivated every day? You don't. Stop chasing motivation. Chase results. Chase consistency. Chase being unrecognizable in 6 months because you did the damn work regardless of how you felt. That's the real flex. Waking up early even when you went to bed late. Working when no one's watching. Training when you're tired. Reading when you could be partying. Building when others are sleeping. Discipline is your superpower. You want to know why so many people stay broke, stay soft, stay stuck? It's because they chase highs, not habits. They look for shortcuts. They want comfort. They wait to feel inspired. And life eats them alive. Discipline is what gets you paid. Discipline is what makes you dangerous. Discipline is what turns nobodies into legends. And here's the cold truth. You won't feel like it 90% of the time. That's fine. Do it anyway. If your life, your legacy, your freedom, your self-respect truly mattered to you, you wouldn't need someone to remind you to show up. Winners don't chase feelings. They operate on principles. Their life is structured around decisions, not moods. They don't negotiate with laziness. They kill it every day without asking how they feel. So burn this into your brain. The world doesn't reward effort. It rewards consistency. Anyone can try hard for a week. Anyone can post quotes, talk about grind, pretend to hustle. But real warriors, real kings, show up every single day whether they want to or not. That's discipline, and that's what turns average men into forces of nature. If you want to win, stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop hoping for the perfect feeling. Start acting with discipline. Wake up, show up, level up every single day, because in the end, no one's going to remember what you felt like doing, only what you actually did. Everyone wants to be strong, but no one wants the suffering that creates strength. They want the glory without the grind. They want power without pain, but that's not how life works. That's not how winners are made. Adversity is the gym for your soul. It's the furnace that forges mental steel. You don't become powerful by coasting through life. You don't develop grit by living soft. You get stronger by enduring hell and coming out harder. That's the formula. That's the secret no one wants to hear. Every time life punches you in the face, good, you're getting tested, and that test is a gift, because if you pass, you level up, you earn resilience, you earn dominance. But if you fold, if you run from discomfort, you stay weak, you stay average, you stay trapped in a soft man's loop of excuses, blame, and regret. People cry about why life is unfair. Oh, I'm stressed. Oh, I failed. Oh, I got rejected. And what do? They retreat, they break. They tell themselves they're a victim. But champions, they do the opposite. Champions use that pain. They fuel their next move with it. Your heartbreak, your failure, that time you got fired, betrayed, disrespected, that's not the end. That's the beginning. That's your raw material. That's your firewood. Light it, burn it, turn it into fuel, and build an empire out of it. You think I became strong because everything went my way. No, I became strong because everything went against me. And I refused to bend. I took the hits. I took the losses. I got up when others stayed down. That's why I'm dangerous, because I learned to eat adversity like breakfast. Let me make this clear. Adversity is not your enemy. It's your trainer. It's life's way of asking, how bad do you really want it? Anyone can smile when they're winning. Anyone can be confident when things go smooth. But when chaos hits, when your plans fall apart, when everything goes black, that's when real strength is revealed. How do you respond when you're broken, and on the floor? That answer defines your future. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Comfort is killing you. Most of you have had it too easy for too long. You've never gone through enough darkness to develop light inside. That's why the smallest challenge breaks you. That's why you're still where you are, because you're avoiding the very process that would turn you into a weapon. You must learn to embrace the struggle, welcome it, invite it, because every second of pain is a second of progress. Every time life throws weight on your shoulders, you're either getting crushed or getting carved. The choice is yours. Look at every warrior in history, whether it's Spartans, samurai, champions, or modern day winners. They were built through war, and your war is right now. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's emotional, maybe it's mental, doesn't matter. If you conquer it, you get access to the next level of life. If you run from it, you stay trapped in the level you hate. People ask me, how do you develop confidence? Easy, you earn it. You earn it through struggle. You don't read it in a book. You don't fake it in front of a mirror. You go through the fire, you take the hits, and you realize that nothing can break you. That's how unshakable confidence is born. When life beats you down, don't say, why me? Say, try me. When people betray you, don't break, build. When your plans fall apart, don't cry, adapt, overcome, evolve. Adversity is the rent you pay for greatness. No rent, no rewards, no pain, no power, no scars, no strength. You want to build a legendary life, then stop fearing adversity and start using it. Start thanking it, because every storm you survive makes you stronger. Every wound you heal makes you wiser. Every obstacle you crush makes you more dangerous, and eventually you become unstoppable. Not because you never suffered, but because you suffered more than anyone and refuse to stay down. Understand this. Adversity doesn't break you unless you give it permission. It only builds you if you stand tall and fight through it. And that mindset, that refusal to quit in the face of chaos, that's what turns ordinary men into kings. So stop whining, stop hiding, stop praying for things to get easier. Start praying for the strength to handle harder, because every time life throws pain at you, it's giving you the very tool you need to win. Adversity is your ally. If you accept it, absorb it, and use it, there's nothing in this world that can stop you. Want me to move to the third keynote next, or package this as part of a full speech video script layout with visuals and hooks? Let's cut straight through the noise. Every excuse you make is a lie you tell yourself to avoid responsibility. It's not the world. It's not your past. It's not your circumstances. It's you. Your mindset, your softness, your inability to face truth like a man. Excuses are the language of the weak. They're the verbal disguise of failure. They're the little stories you whisper to yourself at night to feel okay with quitting. And guess what? Every time you make one, you get further from who you were meant to be. That's the price of lies. They destroy potential. People love to say things like, I don't have time. I wasn't born rich. My environment holds me back. I'm too tired. It's not the right moment, and I'll tell you straight, none of that matters, because the world doesn't care, success doesn't care, results don't care, excuses are irrelevant in the face of execution. Think about it. Has an excuse ever helped you win, ever brought you closer to your goals, ever made your body stronger, your bank account bigger, your mind sharper? Of course not. Because excuses are a virus, they infect your mindset and rot your future from the inside out. The truth is this: excuses feel good now, but they cost you forever. You delay the gym today with "I'm tired." You delay your business idea with "It's too risky." You delay improving yourself because it's hard, and little by little you build a life that's full of missed chances and unrealized greatness. Why? Because you chose comfort over courage, and here's the harsh reality most won't admit. Deep down, you know you're capable of more. You know you've been lying to yourself. You know there are moments you could have shown up stronger, worked harder, pushed further, but you didn't. You took the easy way out. You justified weakness and called it being realistic. But realism is the graveyard of ambition. Excuses are the nails in your coffin. If you keep using them, don't be surprised when you wake up 5 years from now, same job, same problems, same misery, and no one to blame but the reflection in the mirror. Now let me make this even clearer. Life doesn't care about your reasons. You either did it or you didn't. You either became elite or you stayed average. That's the scoreboard. That's reality. Excuses don't show up on the scoreboard. Results do. Some of the most successful men on the planet came from nothing. They weren't handed anything. They didn't have rich parents, a perfect body, or flawless genetics. But what they did have was this: a refusal to tolerate excuses, a mindset that said, if I fail, it's on me, and I'll fix it. That's what separates men who win from men who whine. So let's talk solutions. You want to kill excuses, then you need to build a standard for yourself that's non-negotiable. You need to get brutally honest with yourself. You need to say, if I'm broke, it's because I didn't hustle hard enough. If I'm weak, it's because I didn't train hard enough. If I'm behind in life, it's because I didn't focus hard enough. That level of ownership is rare, it's uncomfortable, but it's the only way to build power. You must attack your own BS daily. When your mind says I can't, respond with shut up and do it. When it says I don't feel like it, say too bad. You discipline your emotions until they serve you, not sabotage you, because here's the thing. No one successful ever got there by making peace with excuses. They made war with them, they buried them, they replaced them with relentless action. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They created momentum through sheer will, and the longer you keep justifying your inaction, the harder your life gets, not easier. Every excuse compounds your weakness. Every time you surrender, you make it harder to believe in yourself, until eventually the voice that once whispered maybe I can becomes I never will. So here's your wake-up call. Burn your excuses to the ground. Kill the victim inside you. Stop blaming and start building, because no one is coming to save you. Every man must make a decision. Will I live in truth and own everything? Or will I hide behind excuses and settle for scraps? You want greatness, then act like it. You want power, then stop making peace with weakness, because the man who destroys his excuses becomes unstoppable, and the one who protects them, he stays exactly where he is, forgotten, frustrated, and full of regret. Excuses are lies, and lies steal your future. Face the truth, do the work, or stay where you are forever. Let me explain something most people don't want to hear. Quitting is not just a moment, it's a mindset. It's not something you do once and walk away from clean. No, quitting sticks. It stains. It creates a pattern. It builds a habit, and that habit becomes your identity. Every time you quit, you reinforce one truth in your subconscious: I'm not the type who finishes. You might not say it out loud, but deep down your brain registers it. You told yourself you'd commit, but the moment it got tough, you walked away, and that behavior starts to spread like a virus across every area of your life. You quit the gym after 2 weeks. Cool. Now quitting your business idea is easier. You give up on that book you were writing. Now walking away from a job, a relationship, a challenge, it's all easier because you've trained yourself to bail when things aren't convenient, and that's the problem. Most people think quitting is about this one thing, this one failed attempt. It's not. It's about who you're becoming. It's a domino effect. First it's the workout, then it's the discipline, then it's your confidence, and before you know it, quitting becomes your default setting. Do you think champions are made by quitting? You think the guy on stage with the six-figure income, the built physique, the iron mind, had got there by quitting? Not a chance. That man stared pain in the face and kept going. That man buried his excuses and moved forward when his body screamed to stop, and that man became powerful because he refused to let quitting become part of his DNA. Now you might say, but I've quit before. Okay, so have we all, but here's the difference between the strong and the soft. Strong recognize the damage and never let it happen again. They learn, they sharpen, they refuse to let a temporary failure define them long term, but the weak, they make it a lifestyle. They quit on their goals, they quit on their standards, they quit on their future, and the worst part, they justify it. They convince themselves it was the right choice, that quitting was healthy, that walking away was self-care. No, that's cowardice dressed up as logic. Do you know what quitting really is? It's the moment you tell yourself, I'm not willing to suffer for what I want. That's it. Because everything worth having requires some level of pain, some level of boredom, some level of sacrifice, and if you can't stomach that, you lose. You want the truth. Here it is. Success is not found in the first push, it's found in the 100th when you're exhausted. Growth doesn't happen in first step, it happens in the 1000th when it feels like you're crawling, and victory doesn't belong to the most talented, it belongs to the most stubborn. Every day you continue through the grind, you're training your brain to stay in the fight, you're wiring your mind to endure, you're building a habit of showing up, of following through, of seeing things to the finish line, and that habit, that's your edge. Quitting might give you relief today, but it will rob you tomorrow. It gives you a short-term escape and then a lifetime of regret, because even if no one else sees you quit, you know. And that self-disappointment is a slow poison. Let me ask you this. What if you stopped quitting completely? What if every single time it got hard, you pushed through instead of pulling back? What if you made I finish what I start your new identity? What if every project, every challenge, every discipline you followed through no matter what? You'd be unrecognizable in 6 months. Your confidence would skyrocket. Your results would multiply, because finishing what you start builds a kind of momentum that most people never experience. It builds trust with yourself, and that trust, that's everything. So here's your challenge. Stop quitting. Not next year, not next month. Now, commit like a savage. Follow through like a machine. Ignore your emotions. Shut down the excuses and finish what you start. Every damn time, no matter what. Because the second you break the cycle of quitting, you start a new one, the habit of winning, and winning, just like quitting, becomes addictive. Success is not a walk in the park. It's not a feel-good journey where you get patted on the back and handed trophies for showing up. Success is war, not just a metaphorical one, but a daily, violent, personal war between who you are and who you're supposed to become. And if you're not prepared to go to war, you're not prepared to win. Every man who has ever built something great, his body, his wealth, his empire, his name, had to fight for it. He had to fight laziness. He had to fight weakness. He had to fight comfort. He had to fight all the distractions that try to seduce you into mediocrity. And that war, it never ends. You don't just get to the top once and coast. No. The moment you stop fighting, the world takes it all back, because success isn't permanent, it's rented, and rent is due every single day, and the payment is your grind, your sacrifice, your discipline, and your mental toughness. Most people don't win because they don't even realize they're in a fight. They go through life waiting for peace, praying for comfort, chasing convenience, and when life hits them, and it will, they break, they act surprised, they fold, because they thought the game was supposed to be fair. Let me make it clear, there is no fairness in the battlefield of success. There are no breaks, no shortcuts, no handouts, only killers and cowards, builders and beggars, winners and watchers, and every day you have to decide which one are you going to be. The war isn't just outside you, it's within. It's that voice in your head that says, sleep in, take a day off, it's too hard. That voice is the enemy, and if you listen to it long enough, it wins, and once it wins in your mind, Wins in your life, that's why real winners have to become ruthless, not with others, but with themselves. They don't negotiate with weakness, they don't allow room for excuses, they treat their goals like a mission, non-negotiable, non-emotional, life or death, because that's what it takes. You want to change your body, then be ready to declare war on junk food, laziness, and excuses. You want to build wealth, then be ready to go to war against distraction, doubt, and instant gratification. You want mental strength, then be ready to go to war with your emotions, your comfort zone, and your inner coward. This isn't about balance, it's about dominance. If you're not actively attacking your limits, you're being controlled by them, and controlled men don't lead, controlled men don't rise, controlled men don't leave legacies. That's why the weak stay broke. They don't want war, they want entertainment, they want dopamine, they want validation, and they're willing to trade everything, their health, their purpose, their potential, for a cheap moment of comfort. But the strong, they know that every second of comfort is a second stolen from their greatness, so they do the opposite. The sharpen, they sacrifice, they choose hard, they train like soldiers and think like generals. They wake up and go to war before the rest of the world opens its eyes, because success doesn't come to the lucky. It comes to the strategic, the disciplined, the obsessed, the warriors who are willing to suffer now so they never suffer later. And make no mistake, there is suffering either way. You suffer in the gym or you suffer in the mirror. You suffer by waking up early or you suffer by staying stuck. You suffer now with effort or suffer forever with regret. But when you choose the right war, when you sacrifice for a mission that matters, you become dangerous, you develop armor that life can't pierce, you build a life so solid that no setback, no failure, no critic can shake it, because you've earned it through blood, sweat, and relentless battle. This is your warning and your wake-up call. If you want success, stop acting like it's a game, stop wishing for it, stop waiting for permission, start going to war for it. Fight for your future like your life depends on it. Because it does. The life you want won't be handed to you, it must be taken, and only warriors take it. Quitters Never Win, written in an intense, educational, Andrew Tate style tone that brings everything full circle. So here we are, you've heard it all, you've been told the truth, no sugar coating, no filters, no soft lies, and now you've got a decision to make. Keep living like the man who quits, or rise like the one who refuses to. You've learned that discipline is the backbone of greatness, not motivation, that adversity is not your enemy, it's your weapon, that every excuse you've ever made was just fear hiding in a costume, that every time you quit, you taught your brain it's okay to surrender, and above all, success isn't given, it's taken through war. This is more than a speech. This is your mirror, and what you do next will determine whether you become just another dreamer who gives up, or a savage who fights, who finishes, and who wins. Because the truth is, no one's going to hand you your goals, no one is coming to drag you to your potential, no one is saving you. You save yourself, you get up earlier, you train harder, you think sharper, you speak with conviction, you show up day in, day out, regardless of how you feel. You make quitting so foreign, so disgusting to your character that it no longer exists in your vocabulary. You turn pain into power, failure into fuel, pressure into performance. That's what separates the average from the elite, the soft from the solid, the quitters from the conquerors, because in the end, the world doesn't reward effort. It doesn't care about your story. It rewards the man who didn't fold when everything told him to. It rewards the one who refused to quit. So burn this into your soul. You either suffer once for greatness or suffer forever for quitting. And every time you want to stop, every time you feel like tapping out, remember this: quitters never win, winners never quit, and warriors never ask for an easier life. They get stronger. Now go build the life that quitting would never give you. Your legacy is waiting.